Hello there, lovely mummies to be, whoever's watching right now. So this video is all about food. How wonderful. We all love our food in some way. So food in pregnancy, but not just in pregnancy. If you're trying to get pregnant, start eating now as if you were already carrying your child inside of you. Eating in a way to support the development and growth of your baby in early pregnancy. So the things that you are advised to eat to help a healthy development. Sorry, this is Apollo, my cat. Hello, Apollo. That you are advised to eat in early pregnancy for the healthy development of your baby. Already start doing that now. Already start living your life as if you were pregnant, honoring your body, honoring your feelings, your diet, your exercise, everything as if you were already pregnant. And you are creating the perfect fertile grounds for your baby to start growing when he or she is ready to come through. Okay. So obviously there are foods like avocados, bananas, olives, things that are high in folic acid, vitamin D. Seaweed is a wonderful one as well for iron, because it's important, especially through pregnancy, to keep iron levels up so that we also manage to stay more alert, fit and healthy, and not so tired. There are many nutrients depleted from our body, especially in early pregnancy, to support the vast development of our baby. In the first 3 months, that's the most that they're going to develop in such a short space of time. They kind of come from nothing to everything. And from that, then they just continue. After 3 months, they just sort of continue to then become stronger and to grow. Everything's strengthening, hardening, and thickening, basically, in preparation. I'm sorry you have my cat's bottom there right now in the camera. Sorry for that. So yeah. So what I can share with you is just some things that have helped me. Now, there are different supplements and things that we can have to help support us, especially in early pregnancy. So they advise things like folic acid, vitamin D. You can get the Well Woman, I can't remember what they're called, for the pregnancy, like Well Woman tablets and things like that. I personally couldn't have those because I'm vegan. And they do have fish oils and different animal products in the making of those tablets as well. So I chose these Proted Wellness Pregnasense capsules, which are vegan, and they're here, okay, and these are the ones I chose. I got them off Amazon, and it's got all the ingredients on the back there. I don't know if you can see that very well, if you were to pause and zoom in. But there's a lot of different things in them to help support. And I actually only started taking them in I was about 2 months pregnant, because before that I felt absolutely fine. But then I did start to feel myself becoming more hungry, eating a lot more, and having this, like, I couldn't quench this, like I kept needing something else and I couldn't put my finger on it. So I figured that the reason, like, your body is telling you you're hungry because it's maybe lacking in a certain nutrient or protein. It needs something. So I figured that, well, there's some things that I'm not getting enough of, that I need to, once I sort that out, maybe I won't be as hungry. So yeah, I did. I invested in these capsules, and that did really help. I did feel myself with a bit more energy. It did take the edge off feeling as hungry. But also, what I found in, so I didn't have a lot of sickness, but there were days when I felt more sick than others, and it tended to be first thing in the morning. By about 10, 11 o'clock in the morning, I felt fine for the rest of the day. But up until that point, it could be pretty rocky sometimes, and sometimes I was sick, but most mornings I would feel sick. And what I found is that just eating a small amount was better. That actually I didn't need to eat a huge amount at first, because then I'd end up feeling really hungry. I'd suddenly just eat loads on a bit of a binge, but then I'd feel really sick again or really bloated. So I realized that eating smaller amounts really helped with the sickness as well. And also, especially in the early stages of pregnancy, you have this, like, not everybody maybe, but most pregnant mums can maybe associate with, it's like an odd taste in your mouth, and you just want to get rid of this odd taste, this odd feeling in your mouth. And sometimes, like, you'll have a bit of a fruit drink or something, but sometimes just a little bit of fruit might take the edge off that and just make you feel better. And sometimes that odd feeling in your mouth, you're so desperate to get rid of it, and it's like sometimes we end up eating when we don't necessarily need to eat another meal. And that's what I found myself doing sometimes. I'd end up eating just to try and get rid of this taste in my mouth, because it was making me feel a little bit sick sometimes. And then I'd confuse that feeling with maybe being hungry or like I needed to eat something. So what I found really helped with that was things like, now I'm not advertising these for myself to make money in any way, because I know that people sell them as part of these schemes, different individuals. However, I love them, and they're fantastic products, and they're by Juice Plus. Now these are actually fruit chews. They're like chewy sweets. Now this is the blended vegetables one. Okay, so you've got all these so many different vegetables in the blend that makes these chewy sweets. You'd think that's going to be gross, but there is like a bit of a limey taste to them, like a fruity taste, so they're actually really delicious. And then you've got the fruit chews as well. So you've got the vegetable ones and then the fruit ones. They're really pure, really healthy, good for you. It's a good way of getting extra fruits and vegetables into your body without the extra sugars, because they've extracted some of the sugars that, when taken in high amounts, can maybe kind of transmute inside of us into different ways, so it can sometimes not be as healthy. So I can't recommend these enough, and they're healthy. So Juice Plus, so they do different capsules as well. These chews were actually developed so that children could have them, but I just think they're amazing, just especially through pregnancy, just to change the taste in your mouth sometimes, just to feel like, to take the edge off hungriness even. So, you don't necessarily need to eat another big meal. You can just have a few of those chews, and you find that suddenly you feel quite satisfied because your body's had a burst of nutrients and vitamins, and you feel quite a bit better again. Because obviously there is this awareness through pregnancy. I mean, we don't want to over put emphasis on it, but we want to feel good through our pregnancy. And I don't mean feel good in the way we look, but feel good in our bodies, in ourselves. So obviously the more weight we put on, we're going to feel uncomfortable, we're going to feel heavy, we're going to feel sluggish. And naturally through pregnancy, we are going to put weight on. There is a little being growing inside of us, and our bellies are going to expand no matter what. So just, eat what you want, enjoy your food, but just be mindful with it as well. Now, I've highlighted so many times through the videos my first pregnancy with my daughter, the difference with this one, and how much better I feel in this pregnancy. The biggest thing that has changed in this pregnancy is my diet. And it's not even just in this pregnancy. So I've been vegan now for 6 or 7 years, and it's been a learning journey as well. And it's actually this last couple of years, there are so many more vegan products available to you. So, you know, people have these worries about becoming vegan, that, oh, you get ill, you start lacking in nutrients, it's dangerous to be vegan while you're pregnant. Actually, it's more dangerous to be anything but while you're pregnant. But, you know, there are such healthy ways that we can gather our nutrients and vitamins just in life from plant-based diets. So but that's completely up to the individual. I'm not trying to force veganism upon anybody. So when I was pregnant with my daughter the first time round, two of my main things that I loved were Burger King burgers and chips. I loved chips, had chips every day, and Burger King burgers. I still love my chips in this pregnancy, I have to say, but but yeah, the biggest thing probably is the meat and the dairy that I no longer have in my diet. Also gluten. When we're through pregnancy, it can sometimes trigger, you've got all these different hormones going around, it can sometimes trigger, like it alters our cells slightly, and which can last a long time, if not forever. And sometimes we can start to develop allergies that we never had before. And one of mine, which took me quite a few years to figure out after having my daughter, was a gluten intolerance. Not to the point where I'm going to die anytime soon, but the physical reactions that I was having to it, I get like an immediate water retention. I get like the water will build up in my spine, so it makes me have really bad backache. It can just make me feel really groggy and cloudy. It makes my stomach, like I get stomach cramps and like different reactions that I get from the gluten. So when I was pregnant with my daughter, Anisha, I had such really bad water retention from the very beginning. I mean, by 5 months pregnant, I'd put weight on everywhere. Like you still couldn't necessarily tell if you didn't know me beforehand that I was pregnant, but the weight had piled on everywhere, and it was actually more water retention that I was carrying than anything else. I've not had that at all in this pregnancy, except the odd occasion when I've had gluten. I get the usual reactions, but I'm very careful as and when I do have the gluten. Sometimes I have my little weak moments and I'm like, oh, that looks really nice. And there's so many vegan options out there now, these delicious croissants and goodness knows what. So, but I'm not having it every day. I'm not having it in huge quantities like I used to. So just be aware of how different foods are making you feel once you've eaten it. Whether you're getting heartburn from that food, whether, you know, okay, you're craving that particular food, but if it's not too healthy for you, could there be some particular vitamin, nutrient or protein within that food that your body is actually craving? And the only way it knows to tell you to get that nutrient into your body is to associate it to the food you already know. It already knows has it in it, so it's going to make you crave that burger or that ice cream or whatever it is, because it's not necessarily that food it needs. It's a vitamin or a nutrient within that food it's trying to tell you it needs. So look at what's in the food you're eating, the properties of goodness, what's in it, and then look at where else can you get those vitamins, nutrients or proteins from instead. Because like I said, it might sometimes our bodies can trick us because it's an animal instinct. Animals instinctually know what they have to eat to get the nutrients that it needs. So the body is kind of making them crave and want that particular food. So yeah, explore. If something's not healthy for you, explore what's in that and where you can get it from other foods that might be a bit better for you. Now, Amigas are wonderful for your developing baby, especially when you get to sort of 3 months plus. Now, throughout the whole pregnancy, but especially when you get to between 3 and 6 months, because this is where a real development of the brain and the neurons are really starting to take formation now. And you know, the development of the mind, thoughts, feelings, the way the child is going to experience its world. So Amigas are wonderful to try and get from your food. Now, when I was pregnant with Anisha, my first daughter, my first born, I would get a lot of that from fish. I would consciously eat fish to get my Amigas. Obviously this time around I can't do that. Seaweed is a wonderful one, but again, these capsules are from Juice Plus and they're purely plant-based and they're wonderful. And yeah, so these are great plant-based Amigas, and I think there's like omega 3, 6 and 9 in these or something, which is really great for you. Now with the Juice Plus products, I think you can order them online yourself, but you might know a friend or a particular seller nearby you, or somebody that knows somebody who can order them for you, and then you're helping out a friend, helping them to, you know, make a little bit of money through the process as well. But if you don't know anybody that does it, I mean, you can always email me. I know a couple of people who do sell them. But otherwise, you can order them yourself online, I'm pretty sure, as well. Okay, so now this I have to share with you is Cacao. Oh my goodness, I love Cacao. Cacao is so sacred to my diet every day, and it has been for quite a few years now. If you can get the ceremonial Cacao, it tends to be much purer in its form. But just have it in low doses. Some people take it to perform actual ceremonies with the cacao because it can alter a state of consciousness slightly, expand consciousness and the heart. But you can still have it as just like normal hot chocolate drinks. This one you can buy in the supermarkets. You can buy it from whether it's Holland & Barrett's, Tesco's, Sainsbury's, wherever. You can buy it lots of different places. You can get it online. But this one is Naturia Organic Cacao Powder. Now, I have this because it really helps to induce serotonin into your system. It stimulates your glands and your brain to secrete serotonin, and your stomach, sorry, to secrete the serotonin, which is a real feel-good, uplifting, happy hormone. So we all want a bit of that, right? So it can really help you to support you, especially through pregnancy, just in helping you to feel better. Not like, well, a bit like an antidepressant if you like, but just as a natural surge of the serotonin in your system. But also it's very high. It's much stronger than normal chocolate. It's really high in iron. And it's very high in potassium, magnesium, zinc and copper also, which are all vital nutrients in helping to support the healthy development of the fetus. Okay. Now, I had my bloods done, and like for the pregnancy, as you know, through pregnancy, it's a good job we produce so much more blood because they take so much of it from you, right? Which I'm sure is important to help keep us on track and healthy, and to support us through our pregnancies. So vital, I'm sure. But yeah, all of my bloods came back perfect. Like the midwife was just like, wow, perfect. Your iron levels are perfect. Like this is perfect. You're just in the perfect range. You're really healthy. I know with my first pregnancy with Anisha, I think I was quite low in iron and different things. But this time round, plant-based diet and healthier than I've ever been. So indeed, I do feel for sure my diet is the biggest difference to life from 14 years ago to now, and the experience that I'm having with pregnancy now to what I had then is so much more positive now. So and I truly believe I already used to work out all the time, do my yoga, all the usual stuff 14 years ago. The biggest difference is my diet, and I believe truly that that is what's having the biggest impact on helping me to experience a much more positive pregnancy this time round. So try to take some of those things on board into consideration. I tend to find myself craving fruit a lot more in this one as well, like fruits and vegetables, rather than not so good and healthy things for me, which is in my first pregnancy. I had such bad heartburn, indigestion problems, stomach issues that I felt very limited to what I could have. But like I said, this time around, very different. So I hope some of those tips have helped you. Also, Marks and Spencer's do some really great little snacks. So sometimes like you don't want a full meal, but you feel like you just need a little something, and especially when you're on the go, they do like really great little snacks, like carrot sticks with hummus, or now this has to have been developed by somebody pregnant. Apple slices and peanut butter. I'd never heard of it, and I don't think it's something I would have usually tried, but being pregnant I was like, actually that sounds quite delicious, and it was amazing. So lots of like little snacks that you can grab for on the go as well. If money's a bit tight, which for myself quite often is, prepare a few things. Just be prepared so when you're out and about, because through pregnancy we've probably all found that we can go from 0 feeling hungry to 10 in 10 minutes, and like it just hits you and you're like, oh my god, I've got to eat. And so try and be prepared just to have a few snacks. If you keep some of these chews on you, if you have any of those, they're great because they don't have the sugar. So sometimes things like some of the sweets and things that you buy in the shop, obviously they have sugar in them. They're not good for your teeth, they're not good for your body, they're not good for your baby. So just trying to keep those snacks healthy is important for you and for baby. So yeah, just little tips there, just little snacks, be prepared, and yeah, be very mindful of what you're putting in your body. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.